Good morning, everyone. Our second day in Germany. And I gotta tell you, we are driving through some beautiful countryside with the mountains, the rolling hills, and pasture land right up to the mountains. Such a stark contrast. Beautiful. You guys been watching. We've been in this area for a while, and guess what? We got a little bit longer to go. But one thing you should know is it is expensive through here. It's tough to find camp spots, and if you can find them, they're scattered out. They are pricey. A lot of the parking specifically says no camping overnight. We're not going to break the rules, but there are a few spots where you can pay 15, 20, 30 bucks just to park overnight. Zero facilities. So it is pricey. So we are going to be moving through this area kind of rapidly, and to be honest with you, a lot of it is just going to be soaking in the scenery and the beautiful epic views. But we also have some adventures along the way, and we are going to one right now. And it hasn't happened like this a lot lately. Snow has first shift. I looked up, she jumped up and grabbed the wheel. She is excited and ready to go.
I had to get Kurt to get out of bed. He was lazy this morning.
Cut the video. Just like that, we're back in Austria. Guys, we just barely kind of tipped our toe into South Germany, but it was nice. It was a nice little detour. Don't worry, we are going to do Germany in its totality on another trip through the Schengen. We possibly could do some bits on our way out of the Schengen this time. We'll see. But anyway, today we have a really cool hike. It's another one Snow can do in the forest along the river. We think. So we'll see. We're almost there. We'll show you when we get there. Europe sure does have a lot of tunnels. But let me tell you, we already have our e-vignette. So we just got in Austria. In case you guys don't know, that's like a toll you pay when you get to the border. And you pay it based on the amount of time. Now, when we first came into Austria from Slovenia, we bought a 2-month vignette, so that covers our tolls for 2 months. Germany does not require one. They do have toll roads, however, and so, well, we're covered for now. And Italy does not have an e-vignette either, which is the country we're headed to next. All right, guys, we made it to our spot. And there's the van right there. So the parking was $4. Doesn't include overnight. No overnight parking allowed. 6 p.m. Gotta be out. So we have another spot we're gonna go to after this. But it is convenient. We've just got to walk up here to the entrance, pay the fee, and go in for the hike. Right here at the entrance, they have all these different size bells, cows, sheep. And we learned about the bells in Hungary. Oh, that's right. There's martments around here. We are up in the nature park. It was €7 a piece to get in. And immediately we cross across this river that we've been kind of following up to the pay booth. Pretty excited. How about you, Snow?
Yeah, and it feels so cool as soon as you get by this river.
Yeah, we're kind of shaded. I hope we stay in it. It's a nice warm day. It's probably going to get up to the higher mid 80s, I would guess. And the sun's hot, and there's been a lot of rain, so it's also a little humid. But it's perfect right now, so we're not complaining about anything. So as we're walking along the river here, they have a full-on sawmill right along, and you can see it's still active. There's some big logs in there, and there's some milled lumber in there. So it's actually a lumber mill. Look at that thing, guys. Oh, and right past the lumber mill, I can hear it raging and I can see it, the first waterfall. And it looks like the gorge is gonna narrow right up here.
Like its own little miniature forest. Got big trees, little trees.
What a beautiful waterfall. And you can see they built these troughs along here, some way up the river. Those will catch the water, they'll bring it down and drop it into this pipe. And my guess is at one time, maybe even today, that sawmill is water driven. And so the pressure from that pipe right there would draw the would power the mill. But look at this, just gorgeous place. Wow. All right, if you guys can see right below this waterfall, as we sort of climb the hill right here, is these are all giant boulders that have fallen off the side of the mountains. Big, beautiful boulders. And they're all mossed up. And at the top of them, they have trees growing out of them. Now, they're not huge trees, but still, it's quite a spectacle. And as you walk up through here, there are all sorts of just waterfalls running off the side of the mountain like what we've seen before. And there's spillovers too. And even on the little waterfall there, you can see how they've built something. And this is where they divert it right up there. You can see the little mechanisms to divert the water off. And then these are overflows. So if all the water can't fit through the pipe, they just drain it off. And that's what's creating all these waterfalls. But it's really beautiful up here with the water just coming down this and it narrowing into such a gorge. And off to the left, not even including this river, there's another one as this stairway wraps us around up over the river on this sheer wall. All right, we have another river crossing, and here's a little waterfall right down there churning. Now this is a natural waterfall. We're up above all the sawmill stuff now, and I feel like on this trail, it's always like a mystery, like you're gawking at what's in front of you, but you're also anticipating what you're gonna see as you turn the corner. And as the gorge narrows, the bridge just, well, we're right over top of the river, and we run down a long ways before we even cross back over to the other side. And you can see it's held up by beams. And in here, with the light and the shadows, it really is just sort of a magical experience. And even the sounds as you come through here change. They get louder and softer. just gorgeous. This has turned surreal. We are now in some really narrow slot canyons, and the echo of the river down below almost feels like the earth is shaking. And as you come down on this wooden pathway through here, the lights just reflect off these walls, and some of them are wet and some of them are not. And it is just fantastic. Wow.
In the heart of every moment, there's a magic hour. The streams are ever flowing through the fields of wildflowers.
What looks like a crazy waterfall, we don't know.
Let the peaceful freedom draw you in. Let it draw you in to the light where long lost love begins. Let love beckon you with open invitations, eagerly awaiting you. A world of imagination saving you a vacant room. While the angels reach out with the wind and draw you in to the sacred place where love begins. Let love beckon you. Underneath the sky, full of satellites, rivers running wild into the ocean. Dreams of catching flight, breaking paradigms. Only happens right in this very moment. Underneath the sky, full of satellites, rivers running wild into the ocean. Dreams of catching flight, breaking paradigms. Only happens right in this very moment. In the heart of every moment, there's a magic hour.
And just like that, 5 minutes walk, we make it to the end right here. Now, this can be done as a loop trail. I believe the loop goes through the forest. Snow's taking the other way down. I'm gonna catch up with her through the slot canyon.
Here comes Curt emerging on the other side of the slot canyon. This place has been magical.
This place is
Cool. So we're back in the van, and Curt is whipping us up some hamburgers with some sort of a fancy little side salad. There's some mushrooms and onions. It is smelling good in our van.
Good in the hood. A little barbecue, mushroom, onion, and shallot cheeseburger with a little side salad.
Look at that. So much. It's nice to always have a kitchen with you on the road.
It is. So we've left the gorgeous gorge and we're headed to our next spot. This is the second time we've just come around the bend and all of a sudden, boom, we have another dramatic mountainscape in the background, and you know, the tops are covered with snow or glaciers or whatever, and we're coming through this pasture land, and we've noticed that all the farmers through this are cutting the grass. So there's a lot of tractors out. Some people have tractors out there to sort of put it in rows, and other people are out there literally doing it by hand with rakes and sort of push mowers. But it's definitely grass cutting season, and it's pretty through here. And I should also say it's clearly ski resort area, because there's a lot of lifts, a lot of ski lifts, and a lot of ski slopes. So beautiful countryside, but we're almost to our next spot. So this is a potential camping spot. This is the new one. The views aren't out, but I believe this one's really expensive. So, after a day of adventuring, we decided we were just going to check into a campsite, and we were just kind of worn out from our earlier adventuring, and to find our next spot, we didn't have a definitive spot picked out, and so we just didn't have the energy for another adventure. This place, as I said, is a bit pricey, about 50 euros a night, and you can see it's kind of a crammed in campground. The facilities are really nice. The place is clean, but it's just cramped in, and you guys know our style. We like to be out in the nature, and if we had our way, we'd be up there on the hills or somewhere in those forests, wild camping. But this is not always the place for that. But man, do I appreciate the view we have right here of these mountains. And tomorrow we have some stunning drives up through these peaks to cross over some of Austria's tallest mountains. But also, I told you they've been harvesting the hay here, and so right beside us they just cut this hay. In fact, I didn't get video of it, but on that hill right over there, they had the baler up that made that big bale of hay right there. And so they are out here cutting the hay, and we are here resting up for the drive tomorrow through those beautiful mountains. And oh, by the way, right behind the campground, there's a bunch of bike trails. Or as some would call them, scooter trails.
Good morning from Zell Sea. S-E-E. I think that's how they say lake here. So Lake Zale. We got up this morning. We had a good night at our campsite. It was a cooker yesterday. It was hot.
Got up into the 90s. There's actually heat wave warnings here. And I saw they're going on in the United States, but they definitely have, like, their warning system is flashing for excessive heat here.
Yeah, but this morning it feels perfect out here because it's about 9:30 or 10 o'clock. We got the scooters out. We drove down to get a look at this beautiful lake. Unfortunately for us, a lot of the shoreline is privately owned with big, beautiful houses, which is good for the people that own those big, beautiful houses. But we did finally find a little park where we can take a look at this lake, right, Kurt?
Yeah, and we also have a great mountain view over the lakes. And one of those peaks up there, I'm not sure we can see it right now, maybe the tallest one you're looking at, but one of those peaks is the tallest peak in Austria. And there is a pass up there, and we're going to be driving up that, through that. So today we have some high alpine driving, and there's supposed to be some stunning views. And well, Austria hasn't disappointed up to this point, so I'm pretty stoked to do a little driving, riding, and looking around.
Go see some big, pretty mountains as close as we can get you to them. But first, we got to ride our scooters back to the van, get packed up, and get on the road. But we have made it back to our camp that has its own little private entrance to this bike path. And the name of our camp was Panorama Camp at Zell MC. And it has worked out beautifully. It is $48 a night. It is pricey, but that's for the location. There's a couple of them out there. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!